Hello developers, in this video we are going to learn how to design a navigation bar with the properties that we have learned so far. So we will consider the box model, the margin, the padding, the border, the display, inner and outer display properties of CSS, and other properties that like background and width and height that we have learned till now. This is a new work, so I'm going to create a new folder for our project, and I'm going to name it Navbar and drop it in the Visual Studio Code. But before that, so we will need a logo. I'll bring a logo for this one and the whole image folder inside this all Navbar. Yeah, and now open it in Visual Studio Code. Let's say open folder. We have the navbar here and the browser on the right side. So let's go. I have an extension so I can go live, and whatever changes I bring to my HTML, that will appear and on the right side. Now it's time to create an index file, index.html. It means the home file, and here let's start doing good things. Let's say home, the title, and here. So for creating a navbar, I'll use the nav tag. Inside the nav, our file will have three portions. Like the first one here, in this section there will be a logo, and the center section there will be a menu like home, about, blog, portfolio, and etc. And on the right side there will be a search box. So let's see how we can do this all things. For these three sections, I'll create three divs. The first div is actually for logo, so I'll write div dot logo. It means div with a logo class, and inside that an image tag. And let's say I'll give the image address. The images are inside my images folder, so I just give it an images slash div space dot logo. And now I'll create a CSS folder and put my CSS inside it, style.css. We have been doing this since the last 9 to 10 videos, so creating new folders and all things, you must be familiar now with that. Let's save our index file and see what we get. We got the big logo here. Okay, does not matter, we will make things work and arrange the logo in a corner. The next section is to create the menu. So I'll create a UL with a menu class, and inside the UL our menus like home, portfolio, about, and etc. Like LI, list item for each one, and A, of course, because we have to navigate via this anchor tag. And for the link, now it's just a hash and the name. Okay, so I'll copy and paste this one 3 to 5 times. Okay, home, about, like, blog, and let's say portfolio. Let's save it. We got it somewhere here. Okay, and the next section was to create a search box. So I'll create a for and with a class search, and I'll put two inputs. The first one for the text, and the value will be like a placeholder with a search. That's enough, I think. And now it's time to make things work. Let's say, let me give the navbar a class of navbar. Let's save it and come to this one here, dot navbar. Okay, first let's link our CSS with our HTML. Here, link, and inside the CSS folder, and select the style.css file. Okay, here the navbar. Let's first mention a height for this one, height of almost 70 pixel. And okay, now our image is doing not good, so we will first check for our image. Dot logo, and inside dot logo we have the image tag. So we will say that the height should be almost 70% of its parent, and the logo itself also should have a height of 100%. Okay, now it's fine, it's okay. Now coming again to the navbar and like saying display flex for our navbar to arrange these all items in a row. And now let's say justify content space around. Okay, and we can use the space between and give it a padding of 0 from top and bottom, and from left and right we can give it about 20 pixel. And let's say a background color for our navbar as well. Let me select the Gainsborough. Here we got the Gainsborough and everything. And now let's bring the items to center vertically as well. So we'll say align items center. That is fine. And now time to move to the logo section again. The height is 100%. That's okay. Let's say the display of the logo section should be flex and align items to the center. So our logo is in center now. That's okay, that's fine. Let's move to our menu section. Okay, we can mention a width for our logo section. Okay, dot menu, let's say list style type, which we learned in some previous videos, none, to remove the bullets. And let's say display flex. Okay, let's give them some gap of 10 pixel almost. And let's say justify content space around. Okay, let's say the grow to be 3, flex 3. So it will be a bit it will take a bit larger space than the others. And the next one is to remove these underlines. So, and I'll use the A tag here to remove text decoration, none, to remove for all the anchor text inside our document. Almost ready. Okay, it's fine. Now let's I'm willing to create a drop down for this one, for the about, and let's see how can we do this one. So here's our about ULLI. Let the A be there, and inside the LI we'll create another UL and some LI. Let's say our team and our history and anything else. So we got this list here as well. I'll give a class of a drop down to our list, parent list, and a class of a drop down menu to the our nested list. Hope this will work fine. Let me create it like a div, not the UL, and change all this to A as well, to anchor text. So we'll get something like this, and that is fine. Now coming to CSS again and just saying dot drop down, and let's say what we can do. First, let me cover the drop down menu, and the display should be flex, and this flex direction should be column to bring them under each other. And let's say the position should be absolute. And now let's hide it. How to hide it? We can just change the opacity to 0. Okay, that is gone. Coming to the drop down itself, drop down, and we say when we hover on the drop down, just change the drop down menu opacity again to 1. Opacity again to 1. Let's save it and see what we got. Yeah, so we can stylize it more. Let's just give it a BG color of Gainsborough, same to our navigation bar, a padding of 10 pixel, and a gap between its items because it's flex, so we can use the gap option, and that is fine. Let me put the opacity again to 0. opacity was the one option. The second option, maybe you can use the visibility hidden option. Again, it is hidden, and inside on the hover option you can say visibility visible. Let's save and check. You can use the transition to make it a little smooth, so you can use the transition all, and you can just say 1 second, for example. Let's see. Not all. For the visibility, for the opacity, let's change to opacity and change this one to opacity, and let's say 0, and here let's change the opacity to 1. Let's say okay, that's fine. Transition opacity 1 second, and you can see that when I hover it enters smoothly. Okay, we can move this transition to on hover. Save. And don't forget, you can use CSS for this one for the input. So we have the search we had the search class for this section for our form and search. Inside the search we have the input, so we can style that as well. Let's say add a padding to that of 5 pixel. You can see we got something. Let's change the border to border radius of 10 pixel, and we can remove the outline none, and we can remove the border none, and we get something like that. You can add more styles to that. That is it for this video. Hope you got something. Thank you very much.